Hey dads, hope you had a great Father's Day. Got some great stuff for you, so let's go. All right, so dads, all week we're going to celebrate Father's Day, and I think it's just really important. We need the help that only God can give. The problem is that it's difficult for us to admit that we need that help. And so 2 Corinthians chapter 12, we're going to look at verse 9 of 2 Corinthians 12. And here is what Paul says to us. He says, "But God said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me." Now, Paul had been talking about like sort of a thorn in his flesh, some kind of thing that plagued him. And he said, I prayed to God, I asked God, and God said, hey, what I can give you all that you need, my love for you, my forgiveness, the fact that I died on the cross for you is all that you need. In fact, the deal is that God's power would be what is on display. That is the thing that we need to see, that the world needs to see, because we're not superheroes. Even though the world often paints us like we should be as dads or as men, that is how we should. We should have all the answers. We should do that, and I think we should work like incredibly hard at all that we do. We should give everything, all that we've got. We should protect the people in our lives, but the whole time knowing that this is the power of God. And when somebody says, hey, great job, or that was awesome, we say thank you, and I owe it all to the Lord. And it could be a conversation starter to where you can talk about how great God is. And this is, again, this runs contrary to how we normally think we have to be. We got to be the ones with the answers. But here, God is saying that His power, when I'm at my weakest, then it's so obvious that it's His power. And that's the whole point. And again, this is not a matter of us just going, you know what, I'm going to phone it in, who cares, it's all about God's power, and I'm not going to really try. That's not it at all. But I do a different kind of, I don't try, I do. And I do with God's power and with His strength from start to finish. It's not, because very often, man, we go in our own power, we're going to do it with our might and our strength and our training and our knowledge and all of that. And then when we get to a point where we very quickly run out of answers, then we might go to God. And unfortunately, sometimes we never get around to doing that. And what Paul is saying is, and Paul's an ultra competent guy. I mean, think about it. This isn't some lightweight man. This is a guy who was ran headlong into everything. Was all in, intellectual giant, and spiritual. I mean, amazing person. So this isn't someone who's making excuses, saying, oh well, I'm nothing. So God, kind of a false humility thing. Not at all. He's like on top of everything. But he's going, you know what? That's not how it works. That's not what's important here in life. It's knowing of God's power, knowing His strength, knowing what He has got. And so dads, I want to, hopefully that will empower you and strengthen you today, encourage you as we fight, man, as we go to battle for our families, for our wives, our kids, our friends, our communities. We fight with God's power. We battle with His strength, His forgiveness, love, and grace in us and working through us. What an awesome, awesome thing. And so let's continue again in our time when we pray. Let's make sure we get our families together. Let's sure we pray with our wives, with our friends, and reach out to them. And not only strengthen them, but be strengthened by them. All right, so we'll have more coming this week for dads. So you want to swing back next week, tomorrow actually, and check out some more stuff. All right, talk to you next time. Have a good one.